Hi, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this call started. And the reason we're doing this interview tonight is due to the influx of interest into the new year, 2019. A lot of people inquire about our company's products, our career opportunities, and I'm not sure how many of you have found us, but a lot of you have come through our Instagram, our Facebook. Many of you I've been on the phone with. Many of our leaders have been on the phone with asking questions. Some of you have found our website. Some of you know people that's working in our company. Many of you have seen some of our company cars on the road. Some of you have heard about our incredible product testimonies. So however you saw it, I'm just happy you're on. And I could not think of a better person to answer all of the frequently asked questions. You know, I've been answering these questions now for 4 years, and I'm just now thinking about how Mr. Hanson, the founder of this company, could probably answer these questions better than anyone could. So I reached out to him, and I asked him to do a quick interview of our top 6 most frequently asked questions. He gladly accepted. So we have him on the call. He is a business tycoon, and man, I'm excited for you guys to hear from him. So thank you, Mr. Hanson, for being on the call. We've never done an interview like this, so everybody, this is a big deal for all of us, and we're going to be recording this call as well. So thank you, Mr. Hanson, for being on the call.
Well, thank you, James. I'm happy to be on the call with you. I'm looking forward to these 6 questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You know, I've been working with Mr. Hanson now for over 4 years, and prior to working with him, I was only 27 years old. I was working at a country club, barely scraping by. I was tired of watching all the members spend all this time with their family. They're driving the cars of my dreams. They're living in the home of my dreams. I wanted the same lifestyle, and I actually had a friend in Dallas that introduced me to a gentleman named Mark. He'd been talking about him for a while. Said that he was helping a very successful family expand business globally, and how this gentleman named Mark from Dubai, he's helped over 160 people become cash millionaires. And I wanted to talk to him. We set up the call. I told him I worked at Four Seasons. I'm around these members every day, how I wanted more out of life. I grew up in a lower middle class family on a free lunch system. So my family, they were not entrepreneurs, and I wanted that lifestyle. So he started sharing some principles with me about demands, health, nutrition, and he talked a lot about you, Mr. Hanson. And, you know, it was nice to be able to finally meet you, see what this company, this product was about. My whole family was unhealthy, so it really hit home for me having a great, simple health product and good partnership. So let me just inform everybody that's listening on this call before Mr. Hanson comes on that him and his other business partner, they have never failed in business, and they've actually grown some of the largest companies in the world within real estate, petroleum, agriculture, so many different things. They've never sold a business. They've never taken a business public. So these guys are the real deal. And when I heard all of this on top of all of Mark's success, helping in the field with the expansion, man, I wanted in, and I was looking for a change. So, Mr. Hanson, I appreciate the opportunity you've given me and my family. I've never imagined that a 30-year-old like me washing golf carts for a living could become successful. You've impacted so many lives, including mine. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. I want everybody on this call to see how they can fit into the same equation in 2019 going forward with our pre-launch of our new mobile app technology. So we're going to be asking some of these questions. The first question, Mr. Hanson, is, you know, I know I told a lot about you just now, but I don't think there's anybody else that could tell it better, obviously, than you can. So the first question is, who is Mr. Hanson? Why going into partnership with Mr. Hanson? Why is that a good thing? Why is that a big deal? So why don't you tell us about your success and your background in business, and we'll go to the next question.
Well, thank you, James, and it was fun to hear of your success, and I know I've heard that several times, but it is very inspirational to see the change that's taken place in you, and now that you're engaged and a happy family guy, it's just you're a wonderful person to spend time with. So I appreciate this opportunity to be with you. Who am I? Well, as you said, my name is Kirk Hanson. I'm actually a second-generation businessman. My parents involved me in our family business at a very young age, in charge of one of our local car washes, and it was a 3-bay manual, keeping it operating. I didn't know how to do anything, but over time, I learned how to do nearly everything there, and that was the beginning of just being immersed in our family business. And it was primarily petroleum at that time when I was in my teenage years, but since then we have expanded into all kinds of retail and wholesale. We have a lot of real estate with some hotels and restaurants and strip malls. And now we've recently got into some big housing projects as well. So really my entire life has been spending time around my family and the family business. And so that is a summary of who I am on the business side. And then I'm married to my beautiful wife, Rebecca. We have 6 beautiful children, and now I have 4 delightful grandchildren. And so I am probably as happy a person as you could have on the planet. We've been successful both in the family and in business.
Wow. Well, thanks for that answer. Great answer, obviously. And the second question is, you've obviously built some large companies that you just actually spoke about, and you don't need any more money. So why and how did you venture into the nutrition business, the anti-aging product lines, and what have you done differently than others that separates our company from other competition, and why people should really look into what we're doing?
Well, absolutely. I was as busy when I was introduced to the key ingredients that make up our nutritional products. I was as busy as I've ever been in my life. We were still running our very successful and expanding petroleum company. I was just wrapping up a huge real estate deal that involved Walmart and involved Olive Garden, Starbucks, several other restaurant chains, and Marriott. And so I was just as busy as ever. But some very close friends asked us for a private meeting, and of course we agreed. And in that meeting, they started to talk to us about some incredible nutritional information. Now, I have to tell you, it was really interesting, but that question kept coming back to my mind. Why are they talking to me about these things? And I didn't really see the connection. And then they asked if it would be okay if we plugged into a conference call. And on the other end of that conference call were some doctors and scientists. And these ladies and gentlemen were so impressive. And they started talking about the correlation between poor nutrition and the degenerative diseases that we were all facing. And they started talking about cancer. They started talking about diabetes. And they just started talking about heart disease. And so many of these diseases that we just deal with every day, that we have friends and families being affected by all the time. And they were explaining that the root cause of most of this is poor nutrition. And they started talking about so many facts and figures and things that it was just mind-blowing. And every one of us in that room, we were completely bought in. We weren't looking for an opportunity. We definitely are not nutritional experts, but we recognized that there was a need, that these experts introduced us to some fantastic ingredients. And they explained to us that we could create a very complex product line that would help people augment their nutrition, live very normal lives, and in a very cost-effective way with these complex products, that we would be able to provide that nutrition and bless the lives of tens of thousands, eventually hundreds of thousands, and we're on our way to millions of lives. So it was fantastic. And so what did we do differently? We just built a fantastic company. We pride ourselves on living by the same rules that my parents lived by, and that's just honesty, integrity, hard work. We work with all of you like we're close business partners. Well, we want you to be successful, because the more successful you are, the more people we're sharing this fantastic product with. So we have great compensation plan. We have great benefits to be a part of our company. And so we focused on keeping it simple, focusing on great products, and have a strong business relationship with every one of you, our business partners. So I hope that answers the question okay.
Oh, yes, sir. That absolutely answers the questions. And I'm on this phone call and hearing things that I've never even heard before as well. So I'm so glad we thought of doing this, and I appreciate you being on once again. This is exciting. So the third question, this is actually one of our most frequently asked questions. I know that you're one of the largest independent petroleum distributors in the world, so I'm assuming this is why you chose the same business model as your petroleum company, similar to real estate, insurance, independent insurance agents, pharmaceutical reps, that same model. And keep in mind, to the guests listening on this call, I'm so happy he chose this method, because I would still be washing golf carts if he didn't. But Mr. Hanson, the question is, why did you choose the independent distributor business model over maybe traditional retail or some type of traditional business?
Well, I'll be honest with you, James. The very first thoughts that came through my mind were to introduce these products once they were developed through our real estate. But in the process of developing the products, we started to recognize that this direct-to-consumer, this multi-level marketing, the network marketing, whatever you want to call it, is going to impact a lot more lives, and in so many ways that are critical. And as you said, this model is already been embraced by so many industries. I mean, we're one of the largest petroleum marketers in the world, and yet it's the same model. We purchase our fuel from ExxonMobil, from ConocoPhillips. We purchase it from Shell. All of these major corporations have created this massive brand. They have a lot of the tools that we need as far as a credit card system and the brand and everything ready to go, and then we just plug in, kind of like a franchise. Now, we're not franchisees of those, but the same thing holds true in almost all the franchisee relationships also. And so that's what I love about this industry, but it changes it just a little bit because it simplifies it. Instead of needing to have several $1 million to invest in your business, for just a few $100s, you can get in and start your own independent business. And that's what I absolutely love. And so I'm going to tell you a quick story. I hope you don't mind me getting a little bit personal. But my dad's a funny guy. He just didn't give us much verbal advice growing up. It was all by example. It was all just watching him work hard and never quit in the middle of a project. You worked until it was done, no matter what time you got done. But there was one thing he would say to me over and over. And he would say, Kurt, no matter what you decide to do as your career, be the owner of the company, the firm, or the practice. So if you're going to be an attorney, own the firm. If you're going to be a doctor, own the practice. He would explain how the owner is responsible for his own income up to a certain period, but eventually as they expand their business, now they will have other key people, whether employees or partners or whatever, who as they work too, as the owner, you're starting to earn income. And that's where residual income, or that's where income that just happens while maybe you're on a 2 or 3 day vacation, your income is still coming in. While you sleep, income is still coming in. And that was the one lesson he taught to me. So that's something that we have really built into our company, is that at first, your revenue is going to be very directly connected to you and your efforts. But as you expand and really embrace the model within the company, all of a sudden, you're going to be able to start earning income off of the efforts of all of your business partners, and they will be benefited from you. And so it becomes a great partnership, a lot of synergy, and I believe that's where wealth comes from. You're never going to become really rich just trading time for money. But as you build an organization, as you build something to last a lifetime, and that's what we're doing here, is making it so that you can build a business that will last a lifetime. And so that is why we chose this model. That's why I'm passionate about this model. And I think that's why I get so much enthusiasm and so much fulfillment out of working so closely with all of you. I mean, James, when I can hear about a great young man with all of the great, I mean, you didn't even get into the fact that you're a fantastic tennis player, that you have a lot of skills, but you were in a low spot in your life. You're washing golf clubs and golf carts at a country club when you're introduced to me and to this company, and you join, and next thing you know, you've made millions of dollars. You've been incredibly successful, and that brings a lot of fulfillment to me, and I love it. And it's you and many of your partners that make me more and more excited every day about what we're accomplishing.
Well, that's a great answer, and I appreciate the kind words. And I was at a low spot in my life, I'll tell you that. But I appreciate the opportunity, and I think you explained it perfectly. You know, you do it a lot better than I do on the phone. So I'm glad we got that question out of the way. And, you know, that kind of leads us to our next question. One of the questions we get a lot is, you know, when we're talking about why our industry, why our products, which you did a great job of explaining, people want to see results. And that brings me to my next question. And so why don't you tell us about your relationship with Mark, the gentleman from Dubai who introduced me, who's done remarkable things, and the other leaders of Team Fusion. I don't want to answer this myself because it's talking about me and my leaders, but essentially people are asking, why Team Fusion? You know, why Team Fusion? So maybe from your perspective, why Team Fusion?
Well, first of all, just to address Mark for a minute. Mark is amazing. He is the best partner you could ever find. He's incredibly intelligent. He's driven. I always thought that I had probably as good a work ethic as anyone I would ever meet, but I think Mark outworks me. And he thinks big. I love that. We actually met in Germany many years ago, and we became instant friends. His character and success in business just created immediate respect from me. And over the years, we shared a lot of time together, and these meetings would almost always turn into some sort of a brainstorming session. But the cool thing about Mark is he doesn't just dream. He takes this brainstorming session and he starts to design it, and then he starts to build it. And that's what's exciting. And we both became very passionate about building a system where anyone who was eager and hardworking, that we would be able to provide them the guidance and the opportunities and eventually the tools so that they could be successful. And every time I think about this, that's exactly what my parents did for me. My parents gave me a great opportunity, and then they worked side by side with me. They gave me the training, they gave me the mentorship, they gave me everything that I needed, the simple course corrections sometimes along the way to guide me to success, so that all I had to do is plug in those natural instincts of mine of hard work and dedication, tenacity, and we could be successful. So as we were doing this, Mark and I started talking about this system, and so we started to lay this out as a plan. And because then he started to design and build it. He threw a lot of resources into it, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And that first effort was called Social, and it was wonderful. It did some great things, and we decided that one of the best ways to test the power of Social, this technology, was for him to build a team exclusively with that. And that's when we had the great fortune of meeting you, James. You were one of those first young partners that Mark found that wanted to embrace this new endeavor of working with our company, but also along with this new technology of Social. And that was the beginning of Team Fusion. And it was fantastic because you are the head of Team Fusion, and you played a huge role in working with Mark and corporate to improve Social. You were constantly making tweaks, and then you had a breakthrough. And you and Mark, with all the other leaders of Team Fusion, built some incredible momentum and helped thousands of people around the world be successful. But Team Fusion still has the same progressive attitude today, and that's what I love, is you're always on the cutting edge. Now, Social was always designed to be this testing ground where we would learn everything that we needed to learn. And so that's where you have just done a remarkable job embracing the technology and touching so many lives. But there's more to Team Fusion than just technology. In fact, just before this call, I was reviewing some data so that I could maybe share something that might be exciting to you. But since we became partners back in 2014, James, you and Team Fusion have created $98.5 million in net earnings for you and your partners. That's just within Team Fusion. That's net earnings paid out. That's not gross revenue. That is net earnings to you, and you're on pace to have 2019 be the biggest year that you've ever had. So you're going to dramatically increase that 98.5. I wouldn't be surprised if you're not approaching 150 million in net earnings by the end of 2019, or maybe even higher with the expansion into some of the international markets you're looking at. But it's not just technology or money for you either. As many people know, our companies always have a connection to charities, feeding programs. We're very passionate about giving back. We believe that with success comes that responsibility. And going back and looking, within Team Fusion, you have provided 1.8 million servings of our nutritious potato pack to the impoverished children around the world. And that's outstanding. And as I mentally reflect back on all of the excursions we've done in building schools or cleaning up after natural disasters and that, there are always leaders from Team Fusion there. So you have built a tremendous culture, James. It's fantastic to be a part of it and to see what you have built and the influence that you're having on so many people around the world. So anyway, sorry about the long answer, but I just get so excited. So hopefully people aren't falling asleep.
No, sir. I'm getting excited as well, and it's actually really the first time you guys have shared those numbers. And I think a lot of people, they think that maybe, the people who start in the beginning make the money. And, I've earned several $1 million with you, Mr. Hansen, and our great opportunity, Mr. Mark Davenport. He's created over 160 cash millionaires personally. But what's more important about that statement is that the fact that we generated close to $100 million in commissions. And I mean, that's incredible. With all the leaders and all the families, that is a lot of money, and it's unheard of. So I can't wait for 2019, and I hope everybody listening understands the importance of timing on this. And, numbers don't lie. And we love our charity as well, and it's because of you and Mark, obviously. So I appreciate all those nice answers. And so let's go ahead and get to the last question, Mr. Hansen, so we can hop off this and let everybody get back to their life and maybe get some more information. So speaking of technology, you just launched some new technology to replace our Team Fusion social and the test mobile application that we had that created all of our results. So you took that data, and you have something very new and exciting, something called KaiBot, some artificial intelligence, the new mobile application that I know you've invested millions of dollars in, that's going to really just revolutionize what we do in this pre-launch phase. That's why everybody's on this call, and I think it's great timing to really hear about what we've done in the past 4 years, but more importantly, what we're going to do in the next 4 and beyond with the brand new technology that you just replaced. So maybe why don't you tell us a little bit about that real quick in closing, and tell us maybe what you envision for 2019 in this pre-launch phase and why people need to get involved, maybe what the qualifications are to get involved, and any closing remarks. I'll let you do that, and we'll go ahead and end this phone call.
Well, sounds great. Thank you, James. There's quite a few pieces to that question, so I'll break it down here. Social was amazing. I owe a lot of what we accomplished with social to you, James, and to all the Team Fusion leaders. And through social, we broke the code, if you will. We really discovered the specific tools that people need, what training they need to create huge success. And so from social, we created Kyani Pro. And Kyani Pro is much like social, but much more robust, a lot more emphasis on training. And we couldn't be more happy with what Kyani Pro is, mostly because it wasn't just a corporate project. We got with Team Fusion leaders, other leaders from all around the world, and we painstakingly put this training together hand in hand as partners with the best leaders from around the world. We agreed on these, on the flow of information, and it has been hugely successful. And we are seeing people be able to find a new level of success even faster than ever before. They receive the information they need. They receive the training. They even receive the encouragement that they need. And then Kyani Pro transitions in to provide them the tools. It gives them the technology so that they can start to capture their own contacts. They can be trained. Now they get to share information in a very professional way, so they don't feel like salesmen, so they don't feel high pressure, so that they're not having to just bug people about opportunities, but that they're able to represent themselves and the company and these outstanding products in a very professional way. It really is a fantastic system. And then you mentioned Kai, and we are so excited about Kai. We're never satisfied. I think the majority of people, after investing millions of dollars in Kyani Pro, would have wanted to just enjoy some success with that for a while. But our IT department never rests. We started to recognize that there was a whole nother development that we could do with artificial intelligence. And we call it Kai. And what it basically does is keeps us on the cutting edge so that we are embracing artificial intelligence, which all the big, fast-growing companies around the world are doing. Amazon is one of the greatest users of artificial intelligence, and so we wanted to make sure that we too are on that cutting edge. So what Kai does, it analyzes all of us. It analyzes our tendencies, our buying habits, our engagement into the back office. It just is looking at us, and it starts to identify those similar characteristics. And so I say all the time that it helps us find our diamonds in the rough. And what is really cool is oftentimes the artificial intelligence will recognize someone as a diamond in the rough long before that individual even recognizes they're a diamond in the rough. So what it will be doing is every once in a while, for example, James, someone that you have helped invite into the company, one of your business partners, might just be doing it part-time, may not even recognize the potential they have, but some of the things that they're doing, some of the websites they're visiting, some of the purchases they're making will start to identify them as a diamond in the rough. And so Kai may reach out to you and say, hey, James, you should call your partner here and talk to them about this or that. And as you do that, you're going to start to help your business partner become that diamond and start to recognize, and so that we can have more people enjoy the success like you're having. And that is the big purpose for me. I mean, when Kyani started, it was everything about it was for the nutritional products for me. And they are still critical for me and for my vision, because I want to see more people taking them. With the health benefits we see are magnificent. But my vision has expanded so much because I have started to see the impact that our company has around the world. Every place we go, we start making lives better. I mean, I don't care if I'm in Texas or Sacramento or Florida, or I can be over in Japan, Asia, Europe, anywhere. But when I start seeing that we are dramatically changing lives, perhaps a single mother who didn't even know how to pay rent and buy the food and put shoes on their on her kids' feet is now able to run a successful business from home with our tools, selling our fabulous products. And now she's able to earn enough money to drive a beautiful car, to work from home when she has the time so she can be a parent and impact her children's lives, but at the same time be a successful business person. Now, when you can build a model and build a company that embraces that, now that's heartwarming and that's fulfilling, and that is exactly what we're doing. When Kyani and Mark Davenport and James Bradford and all of the Team Fusion leaders, when we unite together and we start embracing Kyani Pro, and as we're rolling out Kyani's artificial intelligence we call Kai, it's all for the benefit of everyone that joins with us, that partners with us. That is something completely unique in Kyani. You've got two extremely successful families with the Hansons and the Taylors. But our focus in coming into Kyani is to build a company that is blessing lives. We have, to date, not taken any money out of Kyani. Everything we do, we invest back in so that we can grow this company, so that we can impact more lives. I want to see the day where in every country that we do business, that we are hugely successful, that we have customers benefiting from the products, and just as importantly, that those of you who want to change your life, that you're tired of just trading time for money, that you're in a dead-end job, or you just can't make the financial ends meet, you're not able to accomplish those things or live the life that you wanted to live. Our company, this team, can be the answer for all of that. And that's what I get passionate about, is recognizing that we can change lives. That's why we pay out over 50% of our revenue back to you, our business partners, in commissions. That's why we have the most aggressive car program in the world, and that's why we have the most luxurious dream vacations that you could ever have. And I want to touch on those two. I'm sorry I'm going off so many directions, but when you start talking about a dream vacation, how many people really, in their day-to-day lives, just trading time for money in their jobs, trying to make their ends meet, how many of them are able to set aside enough money to go down and stay at the Four Seasons in Bora Bora, or to travel over to Switzerland, or to go down to the Cayman Islands, or to go into South America, to Hawaii, wherever? It's just not very common. But as you're successful in Kyani, that's one of the ways we reward you, is you get to go on a luxurious vacation where everything's paid for. And that is so fun to go with you, business partners, and get to see you enjoy that type of living once in a while after having worked hard to build up your business. And then the other part that I just love is the Dream Car program. I remember one day meeting a young single mom who had never owned a car that was less than 20 years old. That day, it was over 100 degrees the day I met her, and she had her new Kyani Dream Car there, and she also had her old car. She went out and showed me there was no padding left in the back seat. It was just the metal springs. The windows, half of them wouldn't roll down. I mean, it literally looked almost like a rust bucket that needed to just be taken to the scrap yard, and that had been her car. But then after embracing Kyani, all of a sudden she was driving an Audi A4. Her two kids had this beautiful back seat, safe, all the safety requirements were met. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. And we get to do that, and that's our business. And that's why I'm so excited. So I look forward to 2019 and realize that we have just scratched the surface. We're just getting started with the investments we've made with the quality team that we've assembled, with the message that we have with Kione Pro and the artificial intelligence, I'm telling you what, Team Fusion is going to double, triple, quadruple in size in 2019. We're going to be impacting lives. We're going to be just celebrating, having parties, huge conventions. I'm just very excited about what we're going to accomplish. And I hope I answered all of your questions. I know I probably went on longer, James, but it's your own fault. You start asking me about Kione, I'm going to get passionate. I'm going to start talking about all kinds of things. And if we weren't careful, I could go on for hours and hours. But what I'd like to do is just turn the time back over to you. If there's anything that I've missed, ask me another question. If not, I'm sure we can wrap things up and maybe do another call down the road.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hansen, and what a great call. And I know we went a little bit longer than expected, but you know what? I know that every single guest listening on right now, they're just dialed in. And there's so many people right now in 2019, they're looking for a plan B. And I challenge everyone. I mean, let me know if you find something better than what you heard right now, but this is the last stop. And if you're tired of being tired like I was, you need to get back to the person who invited you on this call. Ask them for the referral code so you can download Kione Pro. You can look at our award-winning, clinically proven, life-changing products. You can learn more about our dream car. Just like Mr. Hansen said, we put over just in our team alone thousands of paid-for cars. And I mean, Mr. Hansen, I could talk about this forever as well. It really gets me fired up and passionate just to see what we've done, all the kids fed and everything, just to sum all this up. And I challenge everybody on this call, make a decision. Review this information. I think this call was so valuable, answered so many questions. And I'm just going to start sending this call out from now on instead of me having to re-answer these questions. Sir, I appreciate you doing this.
Hey, James, would you mind if I just took one more second?
No, sir. Go ahead.
There's one thing that I guess I'm passionate about with Kione is in almost every other industry in the world, you show up and they want to see your resume. And they want to see if you have a college degree. They want to see what your GPA was. They want to see what your previous jobs were and how long you were in each job. Then they want to call up your previous boss and they want to do background checks. The cool thing about Kione, we're not worried at all about your past. What we're worried about is your present and your future. If you're willing to plug into Team Fusion, plug into Kione, and really be coachable and come with the right attitude, we're not worried about your past, whether it was successful or if you've had some failures. You show up here and you've got a clean slate, and you put the same hard work like you have, James, the same dedication, that tenacity, that no-quit attitude. And it doesn't matter if you got kicked out of high school. It doesn't matter if you have a GED. It doesn't matter what you have. We have people here that have made millions of dollars, some of them with doctorates, but some of them with a GED. Some of them that are great on stage, and some of them who are kind of scared to talk to people in public. So Kione can be the answer for a lot of people. And I think that's something important for people to see, because I know that after a call like this, they probably listen and go, well, James is amazing. He's so, articulate on the phone. He's this, he's that. And nothing against you, James, but you were washing golf clubs a few years ago. And Kione has helped you develop into this fabulous leader that you are. Obviously, you had some great skills. Nobody worried about what your past was, but now all of a sudden you're one of our top leaders. You're one of our highest money earners. You're influencing thousands and thousands of lives. And I think that there's a lot of people out there who can do just that. So anyway, again, sorry for taking another couple of minutes, but it's been a pleasure to be on the phone with you, and I look forward to our next call.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hansen. I appreciate the kind words. And, I heard a guy out the golf course say one time the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting something different to happen. And you're right. 3 years ago, I was not the person I am today. And fortunately, to your company and the leadership, Mark Davenport, and all of your training has changed my life and so many lives. stay-at-home moms, etc. So anyway, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, everybody. I think we've heard enough, and I appreciate your time, Mr. Henson. I know it's very valuable. So get back to the person, whoever shared this with you. They can get you set up with Kyani Pro so you can explore more information. Maybe hop on a call with one of our senior business partners, and you and I will get a chance to meet at some point over the phone or really soon. They can answer more questions for you. You can check out our team website, teamfusionfamily.com, and make a decision. 2019 is going to be the year of prosperity, and we invite you to come along on the journey if you're looking for something, a plan B for 2019. So don't just make New Year's resolutions. Let's make them and capitalize and do something different in 2019 this year right now. So thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and close this call. I'll see everybody soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.